Hello guys. So now we shall be discussing regarding the anatomy of the stomach. In the anatomy of the stomach, first we shall be discussing that whenever there is a solution called as barium meal, okay. For example, there is some liquid, right, where you add barium into that and you will tell the patient to drink it, okay. Now the moment the patient will drink it, that entire barium will be coated to your stomach, okay. Now you take an X-ray, very clearly you can see the lining of the stomach, everything, you can see the stomach very clearly there. So anatomically there are three or four different types of shapes of stomach we have got. So how will you see that? You cannot see it on an X-ray, you can only see it on a barium scan X-ray or a barium meal X-ray you call it as. So on that, what are the different shapes of the stomach normally usually people have, we shall be discussing that, okay, right. So a topic of discussion would be anatomy of stomach. So what is this anatomy of stomach? In this anatomy of stomach, on the barium meal, X-ray, different shapes are seen. What are the different types of shapes? For example, let us say this is one shape of the stomach which you can see, okay. So what is this shape? Normally this looks in this way, right? So can I tell this is a reverse L shaped stomach? Yes or no? So this is called as a reverse L shaped stomach. This is called as a reverse L shaped stomach, okay. So all of you look at the barium meal here. So in this barium meal also very clearly you can find out that this is a reverse L shape in this way, okay. So this is a reverse L shaped stomach. Next important thing, next important stomach which you can see over here is the J shaped stomach. Now look at the shape here, this is in the form of a J, not in the form of a L, okay. So this is in the form of a J. So this is called as a J shaped stomach. J shaped stomach. So very clearly you can figure out that this is a J shaped stomach over here, okay. So this is like a J. And next, this is the third important stomach. Now this looks, how does it look guys? Let us draw it. So this looks in this way here, right. So what is this shape? This shape is like a semi-lunar. So that is why you write it as a semi-lunar shaped stomach. So all of you, whenever I'm drawing this, I want you to compare the other picture also. So here also very clearly you can see the semi-lunar shaped stomach over here, okay. Now after this, this stomach which you can see here is called as a Stenhorn stomach. What is this? This is called as a Stenhorn stomach. Stenhorn stomach, okay. Stenhorn stomach. So this is the horn which you can see here, right. So and this is the steering which you can see. So this is a Stenhorn stomach, okay. So these are a few important varieties of stomach which you can see. What are the important varieties? One is called as a reverse L shaped stomach, and next we have discussed the J shaped stomach, then we have discussed the semilunar stomach and the Stenhorn stomach. So when in the exam they give one of the, they won't give you pictures like this, okay. They won't give you these pictures, rather they will give you the barium meal X-rays, okay. When they put there and they will ask you what is the shape of the stomach over here, then you should be able to answer it, right. After this, the next important thing we shall see is that now we shall mainly discuss the external features of the stomach. We shall mainly discuss about the external features of the stomach. So what are the different external features in the stomach we have got? So all of you look here. This is your esophagus like this, and this part over here is your stomach. This is your stomach, right. Now this part which you can see here, which I'll be drawing right now in a dotted line, see this dotted lines, this is called as cardiac notch. But by the way, you see this curvature over here all the way from here till here, and you can also see one curvature all the way from here till here like this. Now which is small, which is large? The one which I have drawn first is small, so this is called as lesser curvature of the stomach. Lesser curvature of the stomach, and this is called as the greater curvature of the stomach. Okay, greater curvature of the stomach. And next important thing is that here you will see a notch like thing. Okay, it is more depressed over here. I did not draw the depression, but still there is more depression like thing. So this depression like thing over here is called as your angular notch. This is called as your angular notch. Okay. Next important thing, this part which I am drawing like this part is called as the pyloric end of the stomach. Okay, this is called as the pyloric end of the stomach. Okay, then if it is a pyloric end, here exactly here, this end of the stomach is called as the cardiac end of the stomach. Cardiac end of the stomach. So how many ends we have got? We have got the cardiac end of the stomach, we have got the lesser curvature, we have got the greater curvature, we have got the angular notch, we have got the pyloric notch. So these are the different features which are located from the external side. These are called as the external features of the stomach. Okay. Now we shall see what are the different parts of the stomach. We shall see what are the different parts of the stomach over here. Right, now regarding these different parts of the stomach, again let me draw the same picture of the stomach over here. Esophagus, and this is your stomach. Right, now here you have got many different parts. For example, from here till here, this is one part of the stomach, and next this is another part of the stomach, and next this is another part of the stomach, and this is another part of the stomach. So let us see now. So this part which I am highlighting with the green over here, this part is called as a cardiac part of the stomach. Now this part which I am highlighting with the blue over here, this part of the stomach is called as a fundic part of the stomach. Now this part which I am highlighting with the yellow over here, this part of the stomach, what is it called as? It is called as the body of the stomach. Body of the stomach is the larger when compared with all other things. And next last important thing is this part of the stomach which I am highlighting with the pink over here, this is called as the pyloric part of the stomach. So how many different parts of the stomach we have got, guys? Here we have got different parts. See, this part is called as the cardiac part of the stomach. Okay, and this part over here is called as the fundus of the stomach, and this is called as the body of the stomach, and here this part over here is called as the pyloric part. So this is pyloric part is actually divided into two parts. This pink color which I have drawn is called as the pyloric antrum. You call it as pyloric antrum. Whereas this part after the pyloric antrum is like a canal, right? So pyloric antrum is something like wide thing. So this wide thing is called as pyloric antrum, and which is like a straight canal is called as pyloric canal. Pyloric canal, right? These are the important things, and let us just recap the things which we have just now discussed. We discussed regarding the anatomy of the stomach over here, right? So here I told you on barium meal different shapes are there. The first important shape is the reverse J shape, L shaped stomach, right? Now after the reverse L shaped stomach, we have discussed the J shaped stomach. Third is a semilunar shaped, and fourth is a Steer-horn shaped stomach, right? And next, coming to the external features, there are two ends, cardiac end and pyloric end, right? Lesser curvature is there, greater curvature is there. And parts, fundus body, pyloric antrum canal, and cardiac part, right? So these are the different parts, external features as well as the parts of the stomach, guys. So thank you so much for watching my video. Goodbye.